What is up, YouTube? This is Station here. This is going to be episode 9 of season 3 of Hibike Euphonium. So, last time, well, kind of all expected it. Kumiko did not get picked for the solo. She did. She is going to be part of the band, but she's not going to be doing the solo with Reina. And from how I'm guessing was going to happen. And how a lot of people were buzzed about it. I do. There's something bothering me about this season though, that I don't know if I want to bring it up or not. I'm not trying to say I'm not enjoying it. I still am enjoying it, but it doesn't. You know, I don't. I don't feel like there's something off with it. But I'm gonna specify. Of course, poor Kaede though. She didn't make it. There's a no-name bobhead that made it onto the scene as well. I forgot who the freaking name was. That's how bad. That's how troublesome this selection by Taki is. And now you gotta really figure like, how does Mayu feel about this? Is she going to like be arrogant about it? Is she going to start showing true colors or whatnot? I doubt it's something ulterior, but it's more like a case of where she may not understand other people because of how she tries to back off all the time. But now that she's giving all she can, and now the results of that, now you're like, what goes on from there? Is this the rinse repeat? Going to be a rinse repeat with season 1? Where Kunga has to really motivate herself, or what is it going to be? We'll see what happens here. But yeah, this is quite the thing. As much as I do have my issues with the usual stuff, I don't know. This is gonna be really hard to. I think this is gonna be really something to compare to the jellyfish episode the other day. I'm just gonna say that. All right, episode 9. Let's get to it. Oh yeah, download the multi subs. I don't know why. It was just the first thing that showed up in on Nyangxi. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's jam. Hold up. Let me get. All right. Is Taki just gonna be the focal point of criticism now? That's the thing. That has to be hard for China to swallow. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, there's one more audition after this, but still, the title though. Everyone's not at ease right now. That's he's trying to cut the tension. That would have worked 10 years ago, by the way. Assuming that it was a joke 10 years ago. Yeah. At this point, like there's nothing to worry about. Like I'm not gonna go against his decisions either. I mean, but like I can understand considering how everything is gone. That's not an honest response, is it? You, the tone sounds otherwise though. I thought I missed it, but it was a focus on the hands and how Kane's hands were positioned compared to Kumiko's. It could be just me assuming, but I just felt like there was something it was trying to tell us there. I do I do believe like there is reason for them to not have faith in Taki. I mean, Kanye seems fine, despite how painful it must be. But again, what about Reina here? Remember, Reina wants to do the solo with Kumiko, but look at how things turned out. I'm just waiting for this for that part right now. That's rough though, but I mean, it happens, man. Seniors getting juniors getting picked over their seniors for. Oh, speaking of the devil, I don't think this is the one yet. Uh oh. Oh dear. Why at 10? Get him some rest. Don't be like me with fucking fucked sleep cycles. This is conflicting because I understand like you kind of gotta trust, kind of gotta get a trust in. But I feel like Reina's obviously obsessed with defending him. This has always bothered me too regarding Reina and Taki though. But I'll talk about it later. It's always been bothering me with this series as much as I do love it still as a whole. Hmm. She, at least this girl right here, is just stating it as 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 more upfront and non-biased, unlike our other girl before. At least as long as it doesn't smell like napalm. Yes. Of course he is, man. At least suffer in silence. Yeah. Of course not. I mean, well, I hope it's not like if it was for the some of the other choices, I get it, but well, that's true. At least it got something, but okay, that's a weird jump. Oh dear. I don't like how the way she responded though, because the way she just kind of just hesitated. It's more like it's more like Reina already just noted it. That's why she was not that she didn't feel happy about that response either. Kumiko should not just let it be as it is at this point. This is about something bothers me about that response. They're saying Taki himself particularly changed. That's not what I got. That's not what how I saw it. I mean, he accepted the changes in direction with the 3 auditions. It's not like he himself. He's just like, oh, okay, I accept the proposal. I mean, yeah, Hazuki did make it. They're just great and all. She. Oh wait. If only you can just clear up this misunderstanding. Oh boy. That the fact that it just happens like that. I'm not even gonna play the. Hold on. Is there extra? Nah. All right. Well, lots of things were said there. What really pains me is the way Kumiko said it is as if he's saying as if that's the last they've ever talked to each other again. After, like, for the rest of the season. I mean, for the rest of the story. If that's what I feel like happened here, regardless of, you know, what it, you know, even if they somehow bring this back together. Now, maybe this is just an overreaction on my part, but I mean, but from the clearly, like, it's already, the riff is there. They're not even going to school together as usual, as comfortably as they are. But here's the thing. Okay, so I want to get this part out on, and this part out with my issues, as you may say. This episode slowed down the pacing a bit more. Still too fast in some cases. The thing with how, like, it's honestly understandable for most people to not be really trusting in how things are, considering how, like, it's not really Taki's fault. You have to adjust to things. We're not gonna, but we also gotta not act like he whatever he says is completely, the sentence aside, is completely fucking right. And this is where I have an issue with where Reina's mindset is. Because this is not even about, because in my opinion, this is not even about making the club better anymore. This is not even about making each and every one better. They're not making the best for Kikachu. It's her obsession with Taki, with saying, "Oh, he's in the right, and if you say it otherwise, you're my fucking enemy." Even if you're like my BFF, and that's what happened with Kumiko. This is childish. I'm sorry. I don't know how many other people would say this, but that's childish. There's anyone with a good anyone with that has a functional brain should know that Reina's acting so immaturely right now. Immaturely, obsessed. We do have our sides to it, but this one is just, it's really to the point where I don't know if it's really going to be benefiting the band. Like, the way she got everybody so tense too, and Kumiko just like is trying to take it as it is. Like, that's why it came down to where that's last scene where she wants to ask Taki himself, and I have to guess is just like it has to in regards to how do you feel about how other people make you, how people feel about making the decisions, how you're doing things. Like, are you concerned about how they trust you or not? I feel like, I think everyone else at least is handling it better, at least feels reasonable. Mayu is still like I feel bad for Mayu at this point. Like, this is just, just only following up on her sense of unease when she says she doesn't want to cause discourse by having someone having her being selected over someone and causing them grievances because of that. That's happened to Kumiko now. Now, don't be fair. Kumiko's still gonna be in the band. That's the thing. There's also the thing where Reina doesn't. Reina also has how I felt, how she went about with This one also irks me. Like, she's not even. If any, like I initially thought at one. Well, there was a no, not okay. Not saying that's the only point. I would have to think she'd be, you know, she'd be generally upset, you know, as regards to, directly maybe it's a case where she'd be asking Kumio directly, like, how like did you not, like, you couldn't catch up to me, huh? And or like she may confront Mayu or whatnot, but no, it's more like she's obsessed with thinking of this. Maybe I got this wrong, but the way I'm seeing it right now, her obsession with, whatever Taki says is right. That to me is the center of the discourse right now, and it's always been bothering me ever since ever since back in, even during scene 2. It wasn't as glaring, okay, it was right quite there, but it didn't feel like it was as obstructive as it is now, because I feel like the way with Reina's, how she's going about with things, I still love her, but she really has to get over this obsession shit. It's not helping. It is not helping. Everything else she does, everything else that is being done, trying to get everyone to work harder, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But trying to react to any sliver sense of criticism toward the adult teacher she's still apparently in love with, that is a no-no. I'm sorry. Reina's in the wrong here. I don't care. Like, if anyone thinks otherwise, I'm sorry, but I think she's in the wrong here for that one. Anyone who's saying she did nothing wrong, please see a fucking psychiatrist. Because what she's doing right now, like the way she's setting, if she's gonna continue as the way it is, it's not gonna help them win the nationals for sure. That's I'm just gonna say that. I mean, considering that she may have to now practice with Mayu for the solo, and you have to think she's being bothered by that. They're not in a good. Mentally, I don't feel like they're really into it. Even the instructor, like, they were like tense. That's why my man, like, with Gojo's voice, keep forgetting his motherfucker's name. Yeah, Masahiro, like, he's trying to calm him down. It was a lame joke, but I appreciate that he tried to do it, but it's just it is just gonna be something it's a lot more complicated. Sure, they have a, but I don't know about statistically, but whatever. Logically, and now at this point, they'll have a better chance at winning in the nationals. But the way that how everything has unfolded for them in terms of the mentality now, because of how the choices were made. There is I do not blame people not agreeing with the decisions in terms of the selections. So, I mean, Hatsuki brought up about it, like, that's what actually helped her bounce back. It took a while, but yeah, it was yay, she actually made it. At least that's good. That's good. But it's not like everyone else is going to be really it's not like everyone else is going to take it the same way, unfortunately. And I don't need to say anything about the directing. That's another guy, person's job, not mine. But yeah, this scene right here, like, it just really, I like it though. I do like it. It hurts, but I like it. but but it also is infuriating for me, frustrating for me, because it just tails back to Reina's obsession. I don't. I really don't want to sound like I'm just intending on pointing fingers at Reina, but everything just kind of But to me, everything just kind of speaks for itself here. It's her issue, and I feel like they like this is something I felt like should have been better addressed back then. But I'm not the like, but goes as it goes with the novel material, as loosely as you're trying to adapt it, which I'm gonna get to now. Now, even though I've never read the novels, but it always felt like something was off, and especially based on the stuff that I've heard. So from as much as what I've heard regarding the novel material. This is where my grievances with this season starts. I still like it. Don't get me wrong. My love for Euphonium is still quite intact, but at this moment, season 3 is not clicking for me as much as as much as I feel like it should. This episode was good. Don't get me wrong, but the pacing of it, overall up to this point, has been very questionable for me. And no amount of clever directing, only so much of that, only so much of the animation, only so much of the production care can try to save what's obviously not a particularly good adaptation, or even in both pacing, both context. Yeah, there's still subtext there, but you feel like there's a lot missing as well. Like, I don't know, even if you don't know exactly what it is, you sense it. I felt like, okay, here's the thing. Here's what I felt like should have. Here's a I guess a digest of what I feel like should have happened. 2 seasons. Season 1, of course, starts out how it is, and then it ends with it ends with them being going through the first auditions and the performance. Then season 2 starts, where the third auditions, yes, and that's where you can go off from there and build it, or maybe this is not it. You do the first audition, and then you're starting to slide into the second, maybe, or at least prep for it, and then maybe the start of the season you drop the fucking bomb that Mayu wins for the solo spot, and then you can try to craft something out of it. I don't know. I don't know the source material, but I felt like that could have been a way to go if they had a more ideal situation here with Kyoto Animation. I love Kyoto, but I'm not gonna dick ride them I'm not gonna suck their dick like all these other people were. They're not good with adapting, with just adapting context. They're actually, to me, they're actually one of the worst, purely because they're ironically, because they're good at trying to, and making it, for the most part, making those adaptations their own thing. So to where you may not like. There's of course K-On!, for example. It's not a good. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a faithful adaptation. Well, in on paper, because it feels the anime and the manga like day and night. The anime is far superior. You don't even need to fucking read the manga. I did. It was boring. The anime is just that much superior. But it's because it didn't try to follow. It didn't try to It didn't try to go too much off what the source material is. The issue I have with Euphonium is that it feels like it's trying to grab a little more of what's from the source material. but because of the pacing, it's so loosely adapted to where you feel like a lot of stuff is just missing in context, unless if you read the novel yourself. Now I could be wrong, and that like, oh, this is they did this one fairly well in as adapting wise, but to me, it does not suffice. This is also an issue as someone who's read who's read a good amount of the Rishoku Tensei light novel, where I can already feel where where season 2 is faltering in terms of adapting. Even if season 1 was already not particularly great in in terms of adapting context as well, putting having everything in. I just wish because the build up for that moment. This is kind of like the Jellyfish Can't Swim episode the other day, where the very where the two similar types of characters were involved in the same situation, sort of confrontation, although I bet in different situations, and the one the one who was the most vocal, or was the most assertive, says something out of line. Now, why did it feel like? Now I'm gonna try to explain why I personally felt, for me, the Jellyfish Can't Swim one had a bit of an edge, to say the least, because the schematics of the situation regarding Kano's mom, regarding her segment, regarding the revelations at altercation in that same episode, and then it festered up to that explosion. And remember, you also had to think they've been that group of jelly was around, has been together for a year, but that's not enough. You can still not quite understand other people, each other, because there are just some things that people will not disclose. It just within that time span. I mean, also considering that they don't exactly go to the same school. I mean, some of them even don't. They can't even just get together regularly. And so when it exploded, it's just you could just kind of see where Kyle's insecurities were. It was just a massive douse of emotions, to where she said something completely out of line, and she regretted it the moment it came out of her mouth, but it was too late. And that realization hit like a fucking truck. This, for Euphonium, though, Kumiko and Reina had been together for 3 years. Oh, 2 years. 2.5 years, I guess. Up until this moment. No, even longer. They were, okay. They kind of just reconciled, they kind of separated and then came back. But you get the thing. They were they've been together longer. And they've been, they've been buddies so long, to where they've known each other. Reina should have known better not to just try to, attack Kumiko, verbally like that, and just have this big rift going on right now. But it's because she's so blinded with her obsession with Taki, and I'm gonna keep fucking saying this. And because of this notion, it doesn't have that emotional weight to me. Instead, it feels more like an irritant. I'm not trying to say, the episode is bad because of that. But it's something I have to note here as to why the Jellyfish one had more of an edge for me than this one. Not saying I didn't like this episode, by the way, but I didn't feel it as great of a sequence as I felt with the Jellyfish episode. That's all I needed. That's what I'm trying to say here. Of course, people can, of course, I know people might not understand as much as I try to explain, and people will just try to disagree and gang on me. But here's the thing: Reina's got to get over that shit with Taki. If it turns out in the light, now the fact that Kumiko, there was more of a nicer segment with Kumiko and Shuichi over, you know, Kumiko and Reina, of course. That says something. And you have to think that because they've been great friends, you'd think they'd at least be able to make up. But the way Kumiko said it, it's almost as if it's like, oh, that's the last time we've seen, like I've said before, the last time they've ever spoke to each other again. Now, that could be just how the feeling, she's speaking about how it may feel like, oh, it's something they can never fix. A rift can be fixed. At the moment, that's how she would feel. At least that's how she's kind of reiterating, you know, retelling the events. But it's frustrating. And it's more frustrating than something, you know, heartbreaking for me. It's more like just really, you know, because with the thing with Reina is just like, I felt like the context behind her for Reina doesn't help either. I'm not trying to say it downplays her character right now, but it's more like this is something that just for here it just doesn't it just isn't clicking for me on that. And this is why, you know, Kumiko stuff, you know, is making this, you know, had made that, you know, really deliberate decision to at least, you know, ask Taki about this. And we're gonna have to see how he responds. But yeah, I think I've said as much as I could. I feel bad for Mayu, not gonna lie. She's caught up in this fucking mess, just trying to stay like, you know, she's being brought in saying, oh, we gotta try as hard, and look what happened, and now she's caught up in the middle of it. Oh, that I feel bad. I feel more bad for her than everyone else in this situation. She is constantly being just. I'm glad Tsunami at least. I'm glad Tsunami at least opened up, just like, oh, I'm glad that you did get selected, even if it means to the chagrin of our senior. Well, we'll have to see how this plays out. If Kumiko and Reina don't, you know, at least make amends, try to make up, or, you know, try to undo this rift, that Kumiko, from how I see, you know, that is supposedly, according to Kumiko, might probably like permanent. I don't even know how that friendship's gonna be, how that connection is gonna be, even if they do. I mean, they've been too tight for too long to just have this sort of unfortunate divide just right then and there. And and you keep saying Reina did nothing wrong, but I'm still gonna say that her obsession with Taki just is hurting more than helping. And I don't think Taki himself is even aware of that. Like, I'm damn sure he isn't, unless I missed something. Anyways, I think I've exasperated, I've ranted enough. Smash the like button, let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, support the YouTube channel, join Discord server, share the video around, all that good stuff. But that's going to do it for today on Hibike Euphonium. British signing off. See you next time. Take care, stay safe, y'all, and have a great day. Peace.